Okay, everyone, welcome to another episode of In Depth with David. Today I am joined by my two friends that I just met this year in college, my roommate Isaiah and my floor mate Pat. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Good, good. How about you, Isaiah?
I'm doing well.
Solid. So, Pat, I think we were just talking and you wanted to open it up with a interesting topic. By the way, this is going to be kind of an unconventional podcast for everyone listening. We don't really know what direction this is going to go in, but we'll see where this takes us. So, Pat, why don't you start us off with your pressing topic?
So back in 10th grade, we had to do a project. It's so weird, by the way, that was sophomore year of high school, and now we're going into sophomore year of college. But anyway, we had to. It was for biology. We were doing this project on how to help save the world, those types of projects. And so I was really unsure at first. It was like you had to fix a problem in the world, and so I was searching, ways to decrease carbon. Then randomly, I found this thing about ants and how ants can they work in soils that contain calcium and magnesium, and they can break it apart to form they can chemically combine the calcium and magnesium to form calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate, which is basically limestone. I'm explaining this pretty bad. It's been a while since I last did that project, but basically that limestone, which is the end product, it absorbs carbon in the atmosphere. And so and there are areas, they did tests, areas of soil that had ants had less atmospheric carbon in the environment than areas without ants. So ants are really, we owe it to them. We take them for granted, but we owe it to them because they're leaving a big impact on carbon decrease. And honestly, people are saying without ants, climate change would be a lot worse right now, and so would carbon. So for my project in 10th grade, I did one about how if we farmed ants specifically in soils to do that, to make limestone in the soils, it would absorb carbon and decrease carbon. And I actually got an A on that project. I know it sounds really dumb the way I explained it. I should have done research before this, but it was pretty well researched at the time. I ended up doing that project again in history junior year because we were doing an entrepreneurship project where we were pretending we were on Shark Tank. And so people were giving these weird pitches about special types of chargers. So I did the ant farms for my idea, and I got an A, and my teacher was like, "You're the only person that actually thought of something cool," and was just looking for ways to charge your phone wirelessly, which that's not an original idea. So I got an A on that again. And then do you guys remember in college orientation, or wait, there's more to it. So my senior year of high school, I took public speaking, and we had to give an informative speech. So I did my informative speech on ants and what they do for the environment. And finally, going into freshman year of college, orientation. Do you guys remember at orientation, that guy that was like, I have a problem, then he wants you to help fix the world?
Oh, yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah, so me and my group, we presented the ant farms, and it was pretty original. We didn't win the prize. The group that won the prize was this group of girls, psychology majors, I think, that proposed we put kids in incubators so that they know how bad global warming is, so they'll want to stop global warming.
Okay.
So they won, but people still thought my idea was pretty original and cool. So since then, I've always had this in the back of my mind. I'm would I be a millionaire if I design ant farms and tried to decrease carbon? It's something that people don't really talk about besides when I research it. So it makes me wonder, what do you think we could go somewhere with this? And would you be interested in doing more research, having heard what I had to say?
Yeah, this is, a lot of what you were saying was definitely a foreign concept to me, but it is interesting, it seems like. So I think there's more to ants, I guess, than meets the eye. So, I guess I guess really honestly we are kind of taking them for granted from what you're saying. So it'd be cool to maybe maybe we could in the future down the line maybe dedicate a whole podcast to ants or just do more research like you were saying. I think that's a topic of interest.
Well, I was able to explain this pretty well the times I was explaining it, but when you said we need a podcast MD, I'm like, ants. So I'm going to explain it more and we can do a podcast all about it down the line. But like I saw a TikTok about ants and like how they're proportionally the strongest species on the planet. They can carry like 200 times their weight. What are your thoughts on that? Like, aren't they?
Not only is TikTok for entertainment kids, it is also educational.
Yes.
But I'll pass it over to Isaiah. What are your thoughts on this whole thing with ants? You seem pretty antsy to talk.
I think it's interesting. Something I would definitely have to look into. It's definitely, like you said, David, it's more of a foreign concept to me. Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot about ants. They're cool. I'm a fan of ants.
Yeah,
I like how passionate you are about it, though. You seem to be very passionate about it, and that's good. It's good in life to be passionate about certain niches and niches, whatever the word is.
Yeah. Well, like I almost maybe want to major in biology and try to pursue this in life, but I'm just not smart enough to be majored in science. But like, I'm an economics major. If I could find somebody else who's really smart to work with and I can like work on the business part of it, we could become entrepreneurs and propose this.
Come on, Pat.
That sounds like something, right?
Right. Not this one. You can do it.
That sounds like something exactly like the difference maker program at our school. That literally sounds like the basis of something like that. Economics major and a science biologist working together.
Yeah. Well, even though I'm not much of a science person, I took AP Environmental Science senior year of high school because of this, because it almost made me want to learn more about ways I could help the environment. And you guys know, like, during most of the time when we were in school, I would try to take the stairs. Like, I would take the elevator with you guys, but on my own, I would usually take the stairs because, I'm like, I'll do what I can, but to, like, do my part. But, like, my environmental science teacher was one of the most pessimistic people I've ever met. She's like, yeah, I'm just teaching you about the environment. It's going to end. We're screwed. So I'm like, that's not why I signed up to take this class.
Right.
That's a bit of a downer.
All right, I guess we'll
actually
switch. You go, Isaiah.
Actually, I got a little subtopic we can talk about. Has anybody taken any classes that like changed your perspective on anything? Like Pat, you were talking about like biology and the ants. For me, I didn't think engineering ethics was going to be that cool a class. I kind of ratted on the teacher a little bit here and there. I was like, oh, he's not that good. But
in the group chat, yep, I remember. I remember the text. Yep, I have the receipts.
Oh God! But the class ended up growing on me. I was gonna ask David, do you have any classes that like changed your opinions on anything?
I would probably say marketing. I didn't really, obviously I just took it just to take it because it's like essentially a gen ed, so or at least it's on the course for my major. So I came into it thinking like, all right, we're just gonna learn all these like sales techniques and whatever, but I didn't realize there's like more to it than just like selling people on a product or something. Like there's all about like calculating gross margin, sales numbers, all that. There's like all the prep work and making advertisements and stuff. So it was a really interesting class. I thought for a little bit about going into marketing, but I don't think I had the personality for it, but I would definitely take that class all over again. It opened my eyes up to like, I guess how many layers there are to marketing as a whole in the business world.
Yeah, I want to minor in marketing.
I had fun in that class for sure.
Yeah, I want to minor in marketing, but I can never get into the marketing classes when I sign up because they're always full.
Oof.
Oh yeah. Yeah, hopefully at some point it's definitely fun. I mean, my professor who I had, excellent professor, I'm going to have him again for my communications class next semester. So yeah, they do a great job at our school at the business program and engineering programs. And I'm assuming no complaints with you in economics, right, Pat? Have you enjoyed your time so far as an econ major?
Well, so far I've only taken the base courses of micro and macro, but as you know, they're both with Barner. You didn't have Barner till macro, and I think he did definitely challenge me. He taught me a lot. I learned more in that class than most other classes because it was all new information. But when I first had him, I thought he was really hard. But then once you get to know him, he does his best to make sure you want to learn, and he's always willing to answer questions. And it's gonna be kind of sad when I don't have him anymore.
Right. And I think definitely the challenging teachers, while they may seem frustrating in the moment, and I'm not speaking for him, for Barner, who we had, like I'm just saying in general for any teachers you've had that are challenging, it may seem frustrating being in their class in the moment, but over time you come to appreciate it because they really challenged you and taught you a lot more than you initially thought down the line.
Yeah, well,
my perspective.
Yeah, Barner isn't a hard professor. He just econ in general is hard, and he doesn't sugarcoat it. He doesn't try to make it easy. Like, no offense, but your micro professor, when you're describing how easy micro was for you guys, but you went through it slowly, I feel like it almost sounded like that professor was sugarcoating it.
Just different strokes for different folks, different methods. But I mean, I'm very happy with my time in the my business related classes so far. How about you, Isaiah? How do you feel in the after taking 1 year of engineering related classes? How would you rate your experience?
It's been good. The engineering teachers won't help you much, and calc is going to be hell. the rest of the math is just going to be not fun. I've deduced that at this point. Yeah. Woo. Math. Not excited.
So what makes you want to be an engineer? Because that's a lot of work in college. What's your end goal here?
I mean, I like to do a lot of engineering stuff on the side, like I rewired one of my Nerf guns from like top to bottom. I 3D printed a couple parts for it. I might post about that later. I don't know. It's just like, I like tinkering. It's like fun for me. And I think mech would be like a good fit. Just like something I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any business ventures that you want to plug? Because you just said you were going to think about posting something on Nerf guns later. Do you want to plug anything?
Plug anything? God. I'll plug Worker
This is
Mod.
Free promotion.
Worker Mod in China. I'll plug them. Good stuff.
Alrighty.
Good stuff. That's all I'm going to plug.
Alrighty. So where should we go from here, I guess? I guess one thing we haven't even really talked about, which is surprising considering we've all known each other for like almost a year at this point. I feel like we've never had this conversation. Like, what made you guys choose UMass Lowell over the other schools you were considering?
So the first school I ever toured was University of Michigan because my dad went there. But I didn't really like it that much. I just didn't think it was a good fit for me. It's in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is just not my favorite place. I don't know. I wanted to stay closer to home, but my second tour was UMass Lowell, and because my friend's older sister went there, so she took us there. So it wasn't like a formal tour. It was like an unofficial tour. We got to sit in one of her classes, and I don't know. I just really fell in love with the school, and I did other college tours after that, but like I just felt more attracted to UMass Lowell than the other ones.
How about you, Isaiah?
I looked at a couple colleges. And I didn't really like know what I was looking for, so I looked at a ton in New York, a couple in Michigan, and
Were any University of Michigan?
Actually, I was looking at Michigan State.
Go
They're
Spartans.
big rivals.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at like U of M and MSU, so I was like, but I knew I wasn't going to get into U of M, so I was like, okay. I ended up going with UMass Lowell because it was just safer, and I didn't know Lowell's Lowell's history at all.
Yeah, I mean, what it came down for me is I knew, like, senior year of high school, I'm like, okay, I want to study business, so I just kind of, looked at some schools that I thought had decent to good business programs, and I toured Salem State, Fitchburg State, and UMass Lowell, Merrimack College. And pretty early on, I ruled out Salem State and Fitchburg, and it came down to Lowell or Merrimack College. And I really wanted to go to Merrimack at first because, there's a lot of familiarity with there. My sister went there for a little bit, and I had like a lot of friends there, and, I just felt familiar with it. And like Lowell, it's relatively close to where I live, which I will not be saying on the internet because I don't want any stalkers coming after me. So back off. Anyways, I came down to those two places, and I originally picked Merrimack, but as I was going over it with one of the financial people that works there, it was just way too much, especially it being a private institution. And I realized that I could get a great return on my investment at UMass Lowell because all the UMasses in general do a good job of giving the students an affordable education. So I just went with UMass Lowell, and it's definitely a plus with how diverse the community is because, where I came from, like growing up through elementary school and stuff, it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's annoying because it's to no one's fault, but, my community where I live is just very white. So it's great to just be in the community at UMass Lowell where it's very diverse with people, Black, Latino, Asian, what have you. So that's definitely a positive.
Yeah, and our friend group was very diverse too because,
Absolutely.
People watching this watching this podcast might be saying, oh, these are 3 white kids, but I'm like, we were like 3 of the only white kids in that group.
Right. That's just diversity. It's going to be the future. I think we can all agree, like, the culture and the community at UMass Lowell is a great microcosm of like what the world should be like, where it's very diverse and, lots of different personalities, and, it's a great community, and you get a lot of feels for different cultures and stuff, and you can meet a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it definitely opened my eyes a lot because, Weymouth is a pretty white town. And I think if I hadn't been exposed to like other cultures, and I had friends of other races back home, but like they were frauds into other people at all. So it made me advocate for Black Lives Matter more than I think I would have not going to school.
How about you, Isaiah? Any thoughts? I want to give you a chance to speak your mind here on this topic.
I definitely agree. I like our friend group. It's pretty cool. Sometimes we've had our the differences of opinions in different areas, but I think for the most time it's been civil discussion. Everybody's been very nice. I like the friend group. I miss you guys.
Yeah, I miss your memes.
I'm trying my best to keep reviving the group chat, but no one's taking the bait.
True. I don't know. I think like now especially is a point in time. Like I kind of took a bit of a hiatus also from social media. I've been like, because I don't know. I think it's like time for people like me to like just listen instead of like posting. So I don't know. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, as I told you guys, like I took a break from it too, just for like personal reasons. But social media, it's great, but it has its flaws as well, and it's good to unplug from that for times on end. Some of the stuff I just really get annoyed with seeing, so I can go without seeing it, and it's good to just flush my mind of it for a decent amount of time, which is what I did.
I went on a few hiatuses, one in May and then one in July.
Yeah. That's actually, I looked up some would you rather questions just in case we had nothing to talk about. And actually one of them was, would you rather give up social media or eat the same dinner for the rest of your life?
Give up social media? Well, how is that even a question?
Ooh, what dinner is it though?
Would anyone really want to eat the same meal every day?
It can be whatever dinner you want, but you just have to eat it for the rest of your life. But obviously, in exchange, you'd have to give up social media.
Who cares about social media? Food is long term. If you eat the same meal every night, you're probably gonna die because you're not getting key nutrients from the same meal. But like with social media, what's that gonna do to you if you give it up?
I would like to plug Arby's right now. There's no Arby's near me. If you would like to send me the same food every day, please.
Isaiah, what if you got...
Give my...
Isaiah, what if your meal
You go.
was the same Domino's pizza delivered by the same Domino's delivery driver every single day?
I'm giving up social media forever. No, can't do it.
That's an inside joke that viewers probably won't understand, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we should get into it too much, but I think, me and Pat can agree that Isaiah should be sponsored by Domino's at this point.
Yes.
So Domino's, if any of you are going to view this at some point, hook my man up on the bottom of the screen with the sponsorship. And give him the best delivery driver you got. But yeah, I mean,
oh my god,
fun times with Domino's. I guess you could say that's going to be the next domino to fall. Hashtag dad jokes.
I wonder if I can invite him to this. No, I'm kidding.
Text him, join our podcast. We're talking all about you.
That is exactly how I get the police at my door. I don't want that.
We had a lot of fun characters on our floor. To all the viewers listening, because we all lived on the same floor in our building.
Two of them were in my room, and they weren't necessarily characters in the best way.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the members of this podcast right now are all memorable characters on our floor.
Yeah, we were.
We all had our
That's
defining moments.
I think the floor knew me as the drunk kid who sang.
Why do you think that?
Because, even though I didn't go to a whole lot of parties, when I did, I would just do weird shit when I came back drunk, and I'd, sang to everybody. It was really weird. I wouldn't sing to everybody, but, I ran into someone's dorm and sang Piano Man.
Was it the dorm right across from ours?
Yes.
Okay. I thought so. I remember. Do you mind if I tell the story of our interaction? Is that okay if I talk about that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Isaiah went home for the weekend here, so it's just me in the dorm room because our other roommate was at a club. So it was a little bit past midnight, and I'm just.
And by the way, this was my first time ever going to a party, so David got to experience my first time at a party, coming back from one.
And I'm just chilling, playing Xbox. I'm about to go to bed, and I swear, as soon as I'm going over to the light switches and I'm turning off the lights, and right before I do that, I hear a knock on my door, and I just hear talking. I'm like, okay, this is a little weird hearing multiple voices in front of my door at 12:15, but all right. And then I see the man to the right of me, but I don't know, whatever. I see Pat. I'll just clarify it for the viewers. He's at my doorstep, and he's just he's slurring his word. I forget even what you said, but you're just
I obviously don't remember what I said.
And you were just I don't know, swaying back and forth, and I'm like, you good? And you're just yeah, I'm good. What's up, bro? And you were you're sliding down the wall right next to my door, and you're complaining about how you were so much of a lightweight or something based on alcoholic intake. And you had some sort of ginger ale in your hand too, and you're I'm you want me to help you bring you back to your room? And you're just you're dazed, and you're oh yeah, Dave, that'd be great. And you're I'm all right, let me give you a hand. And you're oh, you're gonna carry me? I feel so loved. And then you just start frolicking around in this high-pitched voice. You're you're the best, Dave. And eventually you got back to your room, and then the last part of this was I was, I went into the bathroom for something. I think I needed to use the bathroom, and I ran into one of Pat's other roommates who was in the room with him, comforting him as he is puking on his bedside. And he's Dave, I don't want to deal with this right now. I don't know how to deal with Pat. He's just all over the place. I really don't have time for this. And I was I'll message you who it was, Isaiah, after this.
I think I know who it was.
Starts with an H.
Yeah.
Sure. You can say that. Yeah.
I could guess. Right. I could guess. That makes sense.
And then we both just went our separate ways, and he was just super flustered, and I just went to bed, and I could as I was walking back to my room, I could just keep hearing Pat screaming and just talking bunch of nonsense, and then I'm just
I
like,
feel so bad for everyone on our floor, low key, that had to deal with me, especially Dan.
And then you came up to me the next morning and you knocked on my door and you're like, can we talk about what happened last night? I'm like, yeah,
Well, because I want to know what happened because I didn't remember, and then you told me everything. I'm like, oh, that was bad.
And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you might want to pull up a chair for this. And then we went into the common room and just talked about it for like 30 minutes. And that was within like weeks of knowing you. It was hilarious. I'm like, that's my new friend.
Yeah, and then later on, it happened more times the following semester, and then my roommate Dan was finally there. He wasn't there the first time, but I felt so bad for him because he just kept his cool and he was just casually playing on Xbox. Meanwhile, I was like trying to get his attention. I feel so bad.
So let's actually segue now into something. I guess it's kind of different than this, but let's just talk about the moments where we first met each other. So I'm going to start with Isaiah. You can choose whichever one you want to talk about, but talk about our first interaction with either me or Pat.
Huh.
If you remember it.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm going to go with my first interaction with you, David.
Okay.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I go into Foxhall. I'm like, okay, I'm moving in.
And before you continue, didn't you get back from Hawaii or vacation that day too?
Just got back from
because
Hawaii.
You look pretty tired, and it was like 10 at night anyways.
Yeah, I was exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I get in there and I'm like, okay, I go through the floors and then I go down the hall. At first I went down the girls' hall and I was like, okay, it's this way. I know, too early. Anyways, and then I go down the hall and I'm like, I don't know how, but I think I knocked on the door and then like either you or your dad opened it. I think you did.
I think it was my dad.
Oh, it was your dad, yeah. And you're like, oh, are you Isaiah? And I was just thinking, how the hell does this kid know who I am?
Stalker like, rating 100.
Yeah, I was like, how does he know? My dad was like, oh yeah. He's like, have you guys met? He's like, how do you? Who are you? And then you were like, oh yeah, I follow. We talked through the internet. I'm David Karras. I follow you on the Instagram. And I was like, oh,
on the Instagram. That's something I would say too.
I was like, oh, it all just like clicked. I was like, okay, that makes sense. I was like, creepy rating back down to a 0. We're good. Oh, yeah. But you scared me there. I was like, how did he know who I was?
Because I was just finishing moving in and I ran into you at the bottom of the elevator. And I'm like, I think that's my roommate. And I'd be like, I'd feel so bad if we were just in the elevator together and I said nothing and we were both just walking in the room. And it'd just be so awkward and be like, oh, hey, you're my roommate. So I had to say something. I mean, yeah, it was a little creepy, but, I had to give it a shot. It's like 90% is you. How about your first interaction with Pat?
I'm trying to think. What was my first interaction with Pat? Pat, what was our first interaction?
Well, I know I met David before I met you. I had seen you guys on the floor before, but I had talked to David before. I think honestly, David just took me back to his room and I met you. So it probably was a little bit more basic.
I think you just came back for the weekend, Isaiah, and I think I was in Pat's room, and I'm just like, oh, you want to like meet my other roommate? And I'm like, this is Isaiah, and you're like, hi, and you're like, hi, nice to meet you. And little did I know that this would become the biggest bromance on our floor.
Yeah,
I would say.
Well,
between Isaiah and Pat.
Yeah, it's either the three of us or it's like Kevin, Joe, and what's his face. There are a few contenders, but I would say we were definitely a defining trio.
Yeah, and little did I know all the shenanigans that you guys would pull, all the entertaining nights.
Yeah,
the shenanigans.
Honestly, I could be wrong, but I think I met Matt before I met Isaiah. But once I met Isaiah, we instantly vibed.
Yeah.
All right, on. Yeah, because I met Pat because I was up at this place on our campus called University Crossing, just watching the Pats game, and we had a whiteboard on our door at the time, and I said, "Watch party at U Crossing if you want to come." Just I figured that'd be an easy way to make friends because who doesn't love the Pats unless you're from out of state.
Right.
Regardless, people love football. And I was losing hope because I was just like watching the whole first quarter by myself. I'm like, yeah, this is all right. Kind of stinks. No one's going to come, but it's whatever. And then I see what's up.
Sorry to cut you off, but wasn't that the one game that had Antonio Brown on the team before he, got cut? Or was he not on the team yet?
We cut him by that point. He was, I think that was like a couple weeks after his one game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was, I think it was like Pat's Ragtons. No problem. And
you guys remember that?
I just have a really good memory for it's stalker rating up to like 100 again for Isaiah. He's probably like, why did I remember this kid? No, just jokes.
No.
So yeah, I see this kid walk up to like the TV, and I'm like, I've seen this kid before. Like, I know he lives on my floor. Like, I originally thought you were Royer. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I thought, oh, this is Royer because like we've had some awkward interactions before we ever talked to each other. Like, I remember leaving the bathroom and you were like right at the door, and I like almost like knocked you over, and I'm just like, oh my.
Yeah, God. That happened a few times. That happened a few times to me with other people. I was always embarrassed.
And I'm just like, oh, maybe he's coming to this. And you sat down on like the chair right next to me, and you didn't like say anything for a minute, and you were just like looking at the TV to make sure the Pats game was on. I'm like, is this the right kid? Am I like thinking of someone else? And then I'm like,
well,
you go.
When you said watch party, I thought there was a lot of people there. I'm like, did a lot of people leave? Is there more people around? So I'm like, wait, is it just this kid?
Right. I was hoping there would be more people, by the way. But people are too cool for me, I guess. But no, I see him. I'm like, hey, I think you live on my floor. What's your name? And you're like, yeah, I've seen you around. My name's Pat. And then I'm like, oh, I'm David. And then we just start getting to talking. And then, we were both talking about how like we wanted to meet more people, like not just around campus, but also on our floor. And then, I think I helped. That was still when you were having issues with the printer in your rooms. So I helped you.
Oh, yeah. Because then later that day, we knocked on Franz's door and we're like, Franz, can you help us set up this printer? And Franz sort of helped us. We still didn't figure it out. And then I was able to get my parents to help me, and then we were able to fix it, but then it only stayed printing, I think, only for the rest of fall semester. And then when it came time for spring semester, I don't think it worked again. I could be wrong about that, but my printer was weird. It like wouldn't print when I wanted it to. Sometimes it would, and then sometimes it wouldn't.
Yeah, and then I just hung out in his room for a bit. I showed him around my dorm, and then eventually there was that one night where once we all were knowing each other for like a couple weeks, we watched the Pats Giants Thursday night football game in the common area, and I think you got like a few people from the pod, Pat, to come up and watch it. And I was like kind of throwing a hissy fit all night because I was nervous we were going to get yelled at by our RA, who shout out to him. He's awesome.
Yeah, Anthony. Well, that time it's because the first watch party, like I actually feel bad for this kid. He threw a party and I'm the only one that showed up. I'm going to make sure a lot of people come and it'll be a real watch party next time. And so I invited all of my friends from the common that I was making, because at that time I was working at the pod. So Jayla was my coworker. I became friends with Kayla through Jayla and all of Kayla's friends. So I'm like, guys, let's all go up to the pod. And we did. And half of them weren't even watching. They were just talking.
Yeah. And, yeah, no, it was still great to have a lot of people up there. And, yeah, I don't know why I'm smirking, but no, that was a fun time. And I was just nervous all night that, Anthony was going to get mad at us, but I didn't realize he was on duty, but he was cool with it. Shout out to him once again. He was a great RA. And then that was the origin of the Foxhall group chat. That's when we started it with those like 10 people.
Actually, what happened was Kayla created the group chat, and she put. It was actually the first 5 people in it were me, Kayla, me, Kayla, Chisholm, Arjune, and Tiana. We were the first 5 people, and then I added you guys. That was when I got your number. I'm like, hey, you guys want to be in a group chat? Can I have your numbers? And then we added more and more people. Yeah,
and then the rest is history. I started telling my dad jokes, probably annoying everyone since day one, but it's just a way to make friends.
My favorite group chat moment was when I wanted to piss everyone off with Isaiah, and I like, Isaiah, give me your phone. So I did something that I knew everyone would think Isaiah would do more than me. So I just like spammed everyone with Squidward gifs through Isaiah's phone, and Joe was the first one to speak up. He was like, "Please stop!" with all exclamation points. But then you, Isaiah, you didn't even get defensive. You later on sent the video of Squidward that
Let's get this.
Yeah, and then you this was your words, not mine. You said Joe can't stop, won't stop.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to Joe as well. He's the one I've done a couple podcasts with in the past. He's awesome. Hopefully you've used this at some point. But yeah, no, we just had a good camaraderie with everyone. It was a great group chat. I mean, it's kind of dead right now, but hopefully we can revive it.
You should post these podcasts in the group chat.
Yeah, I will for sure. I'll post the links. And as always, I'll just plug myself right now. You can view it at In Depth with David on iTunes and at Sponge411 on YouTube. Those are where my podcasts are viewable. So # free promotion.
Wait, if Joe sees this, then he's going to know I'm the one that spammed the group chat, not Isaiah. But, well, it was really both me and Isaiah doing it together.
Hey,
water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, the past is in the past. Shout out Frozen.
The first thing I get when I search up Sponge411, your YouTube channel, David.
Let's go.
You're
subscribe. I'm looking to make a career out of this. I'm going to college.
You're YouTube famous now.
Snapchat famous. But yeah, where should we take it from here?
We're each famous in our own ways because on social media, you're YouTube famous, David, because of your podcasts. Isaiah's Snapchat famous because of the Russian video, or so basically we have
a lot of things.
And Jill, and sorry, not Jill, Juliet. Yeah, you're Snapchat famous, and then I'm slowly getting TikTok famous. I don't know if that's gonna last, but like I'm getting more views. So
plug your TikTok while you're at it.
Yeah,
so it's
TikTok.
So it's Pat Foos. My last name is Fuss, so it looks like Fuss, but it's Foos. So I have like 4 U's, so that's PATFUUUUSS. So follow the TikTok.
Please do. Yeah, he makes a lot of bangers on there. They're endearing videos.
I posted one.
Can't keep your eyes away from them.
I posted one last night that only got 3 likes. Well, it was after an hour, but I deleted it, and I'm thinking of reposting just because I might switch things up. So I did like famous TikTokers comparing them to the most obscure Marvel characters. So I had like and it wasn't based on looks or personality. It was just based on the vibes they give off. So I had Noah Beck as Howard the Duck, which I thought people were going to laugh at, but no one saw it, got no views. I might repost and change things around because I had Addison Rae's mom as Aunt May, but I might do her as Hope Van Dyne. No, Janet Van Dyne. I might do her as that.
Right on.
That's really good.
So let me know if you think these are all good ones. So I had Charlie D'Amelio as Cassie Lang, Ant-Man's daughter. I had Dixie D'Amelio as MJ. I had Noah Beck as Howard the Duck. I had I actually struggled with Addison Rae. I put her as Liz from the first Spider-Man movie, but that one might be open to change if you guys can think of one. And I had James Charles as the Collector, the Collector guy. And
yeah, I mean, I actually did see that TikTok, and some of them did look some of them did look eerily similar to the actors. So yeah, it was.
Oh, I didn't know you saw it because it got like 3 likes, so I didn't know anybody saw it, but I deleted it and I'm thinking of reposting because I might change things around.
So where should we go now with this podcast? I don't know what else to talk about.
I don't know.
Should we go back to Ant and bring it full circle?
I mean, if you have anything else to add to it.
So Ant-Man is the most underrated superhero. Changed my mind.
Okay. I'm about to change your mind. Thanos. Most underrated superhero.
I mean, I guess he's kind of a hero in his own movie.
I mean, I like the Ant-Man movies when I saw them. I'm not the most I hate to say this, I'm not the most educated on when it comes to I'll go see like the Marvel movies and stuff, but I mean, I enjoyed all the Avengers movies. Ant-Man, the first one I loved. I've always liked Ant-Man. He kind of stands out to me of the rest. Actually, I wish I could add more, but I'm not too educated on this stuff.
If we had to place the Avengers like on a tier list, like Pat, if you had to place the Avengers on a tier list, how high do you think Ant-Man would actually be?
So like, let's say S tier is like the top tier, and then A tier is the next tier. I'd put him in A tier.
Okay.
A. Okay.
Interesting. I'll agree with that. I feel like I would put him in B tier.
Was Thomas the Train, was that the movie? Didn't they have like a scene with Thomas the Train and Ant-Man? I'm trying to remember.
They did.
Yeah.
So like it's when they're really small and like Thomas the Tank Engine is going around the
That's
circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny movie. That's what I always admired about like the Marvel movies. Like there's the good character development, and it has the right level of comedy in them. So shout out to Marvel.
Oh wait, I actually watched Ant-Man in your guys' room. So Isaiah would sometimes go home on the weekends, but his bed was so comfy, so I would just sleep in his bed, and he was completely cool with it. So I owe you one for that. But you were just playing 2K, I think. So I was watching Disney Plus on my phone. I was just watching Ant-Man.
Have you ever tried out what is it called? Disney Minus?
We can try it.
David.
Yeah, I'm showing a little bit more of my personality in this podcast. So all the viewers, I mean, more of them have just been like all my podcasts up until this point have just been like strictly, talking about certain topics. But because this is like a freestyle one, I'm just kind of, showing my personality to all the viewers who probably think I'm vanilla or whatever. So let's talk about favorite memories in the dorm room now. Speaking of Pat spending the weekends in there, favorite memories in the dorm room involving all three of us. If you're willing to say them, because, there's a lot of controversial ones that happen, but if you're willing to talk about them. Silence.
One of my favorite ones is when Franz is in the dorm. We're all just trying to watch a movie. And then Franz is like, dude, do you have a Nerf gun? And it was the one with like
the scope, night vision, right?
Vision, right? He starts waving it at everybody. Like, that was so fun, but like I was also like, all right. that was just so funny. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, low key, your guys' room made me more comfortable. It was just more comfortable than my own room because I had two roommates that I wasn't particularly fond of. They just that one that was just asked really weird questions, and then the other one that wouldn't stop talking, and he had bad anger issues too, and he would always take it out on us. But they know exactly which ones I'm referring to. But yeah, David and Isaiah's room, I spent probably the most amount of time possible in it because it was just the most comfortable dorm to just sit and hang out in.
Yeah, I'd say my favorite moment is it was either in like October or November, but we were all just hanging out on like a Thursday night in our room. We were like blasting music off Isaiah's speaker, and we were blasting, what was it, like Poop Diddy Scoop? Is that like the name of the song?
Lift Yourself by Kanye West.
Okay. And
ran for president.
Right. And we came up with this like elaborate scheme where Isaiah was going to come into my lecture hall class and blast Lift Yourself at the top steps. And
ask if they knew where Franz was. Maybe throw a loaf of bread.
Throw a loaf of bread on the ground. Oh, wait, this isn't my lecture hall. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Isaiah is quite the character, and he had some funny schemes, and he did a lot of funny things, and he kept the mood very, very light and entertaining, and it's a good aura with my roommate Isaiah throughout this semester plus that we live together.
I'm not a total clown, but sometimes, the mood is too boring.
Yeah, I mean, you keep things interesting.
Yeah.
We all know, like, everyone, had their moments, including myself, where, things were taken too far, but it kept everyone entertained. I mean, you need to keep stuff entertained while you're at college.
Oh yeah, we drove ourselves crazy sometimes, but that doesn't even matter anymore.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to do it again. Hopefully spring semester.
Yeah.
I'll link up again because Isaiah, you're spending the first semester at home too, right?
Yeah, I'm spending this fall semester at home.
Same here, unfortunately.
And
but
I'm going back. I'm starting to second guess myself because they might send us back. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's hope that they don't have to, but it might happen. But I'm in a suite with 3 guys I've never met before. One of them I could have met because he does club track and so do I. I also do club track, but he's a sprinter and I'm a distance runner, so we never really interacted. In case you're wondering, the numbers behind me, those are all bib numbers from high school. It's a track wall. But other than that, I don't know the other 2. One of them's a freshman, but I always thought a sweep between the 3 of us would be pretty sick. Well, with extra people in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to make something happen at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, if the rumors are true, like I forget what company it is, but they're moving forward towards making a vaccine, and a lot of people are projecting it to be ready in early 2021. So.
Yeah, that would make so much sense because it feels like 2020 just has to be the worst year possible, and then 2021 everything will go back to normal.
That's what I'm hoping, honestly. Let me ask you, I mean, this is a political question, but it doesn't involve getting political. Like, let me ask you guys about this. I don't know if you've heard of the conspiracy theory where on November 4th, the day after the election, coronavirus is just going to go away, and this is a ploy to just, like, stop either Trump or Biden and like give them a reason to make sure that either or doesn't get in office or doesn't stay in office. What do you think about that? Do you think the coronavirus is a political thing, or do you think that rumor is bogus or that conspiracy theory is bogus?
I don't believe that personally because people have died. I know people who have died of corona, so it's people who the only people that would make conspiracy theories like that are the people that haven't been personally affected by it.
I agree. Yeah. I'm gonna call bogus.
No,
yes,
again,
and everyone, I agree with that.
No, keep going.
You go.
No, I was just gonna say,
like, no, you go.
I was just gonna say, like, my mom signed me up for she had me sign up for like the mail election thing. I'm not looking forward to voting, but keep going.
I was just gonna say, like, COVID is really serious. I do kind of get a little annoyed, like, within reason, just wear your mask, people. Like, I made a TikTok on it. Like, it just wear it. Like, it can help save your life. It can save someone else's life. It's not like a formality. You got to do it in this day and age. And I mean, listen, like, other countries are laughing at us. I mean, granted, like, yeah, this is going to be like the flu. Like, this is not going to be eradicated from our country moving forward. But just like, if everyone could have just taken this seriously, we'd be probably so much farther along. But, people think they're above the law or bigger than the world, so they think they can just, frolic along without wearing a mask. So just all I ask to the viewers, and I feel like I'm like doing an ad right now, but I'll look at the camera while I'm doing it too, is just practice safe social distancing, wear a mask, and wash your hands. It's serious, and honestly, the CDC has come forward, and I don't know, like, the CDC has kind of lost some of their credibility because of this whole thing, but they've said if everyone were to wear their mask for like the next 6 to 8 weeks, we could really lower the threat level of the coronavirus. There we go.
Oh,
let's go.
Wait, I can't put it on because of these, but I was just demonstrating. You did it in your TikTok. You're like, well, just wear a mask. This is how you do it. And so,
right. And yeah, if everyone could wear their masks for like the next 6 to 8 weeks, the CDC said we could literally lower the threat level of coronavirus, which, I think is accurate. But, a mask a day keeps the coronavirus from getting any worse, I guess, than it already is. But that's all I really have to say about COVID. Do you guys think we're going to have to wear masks for like the next few years, or do you think like once a vaccine's created, some of the restrictions will be loosened? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like social distancing and such.
It's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be interesting. I mean, I'm even debating this with my family. They're like, my mom's like, oh, she thinks it's gonna be like a little more cultural. You know, it's just gonna be a little more ingrained in everybody to wear masks.
Definitely.
Personally, I don't really see that. I think, you know, once, you know, we have some kind of a quote unquote silver bullet for this thing, you know, I think people's attitudes and attentions will shift away, for better or for worse.
Okay. Pat, what do you think about it, about social distancing and stuff? Do you think this is just temporary, or even when we get a vaccine, do you think we'll still have to practice all these techniques?
I don't know. Some people are saying that things will never go back to normal. One thing I heard in particular, and this kind of breaks my heart, but you know, it just might be the case. Somebody said that handshaking is the new smoking, where, you know, smoking cigarettes used to be the norm, and now nobody does it because they know the health risks. You know, there might come a time after this where like nobody shakes hands anymore because we now know it can spread diseases. If even though, like, you know, I personally have. I guess, you know, you are always risking, whether there's a pandemic or not, you are risking technically, you know, getting sick when you do shake someone's hand or when you make any contact with them.
Yeah, I mean, like, just discussing that, like, that's definitely something like that is going to change the world forever. Like, the coming in contact with people are going to definitely be a lot more hesitant moving forward, like, you know, the handshakes and the hugs and whatever. I do think, like, in the terms like the workforce, you know, a lot of things, obviously, they're already turning virtual, like conference calls and stuff. Like, there's going to be a lot more virtual meetings, as there already is, and less like in-person stuff. And I mean, it's going to be crazy. Like, this is a crazy time we're living in. I mean, the only thing that's cool about it is like this stuff is going to get written in like history books. So like future generations of kids are going to be learning about this. So we'll be able to talk to like our kids and grandkids about this crazy time. But I don't know. I just, it's sad how this cut, like,
no, you go. You
say
go.
that word? You just cut out the.
No, you go. I feel bad for interrupting you.
Okay.
I've interrupted so many times that David just lets me go.
No. That's
no. David, you complete your.
That's cool. So what were you saying, Isaiah? You just keep cutting out.
I keep cutting out.
I don't think you're cutting out.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna plug another thing here. Rock bands for the microphone because I'm broke.
Wait, are we supposed to have microphones? Because I don't have one.
You don't need to have one. I'm just using mine because your guys' audio is perfectly fine.
All right, cool. I'm kind of talking into this.
Yeah, no, this is just going to change the world. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate how this cut our first year of college a little short, but if anything, I'm glad it was our first year and not our second year or our third year, because with the looks of this year, it's not too promising with us, like, you know, being able to safely be back at all this year. So I'm fine with losing my sophomore year because I feel more confident that come August of next year, we'll be able to safely move back in and be back on campus. So, you know, at least I still have 2 more years at least to see you guys in person, hopefully, rather than it being like 1 or 2 more. Or
yeah,
like
well,
one more if I was a junior.
Yeah, definitely. Class of 2019 definitely had it the best. Well, not the best. We had it better than most classes because we graduated. We had a normal senior year before all this stuff happened. And then even though we didn't get a full freshman year of college, we got a full first semester. We at least got a first semester of college, whereas like class of 2020, they didn't have get to finish their senior year, and they're not even going to get a first semester of college. Well, normal first semester of college. So, you know, we got like to experience college. We got to experience a normal first semester and a normal half of a second semester. So basically 3/4 of our freshman year. And we're most likely going to be able to finish college with a normal senior year. So
definitely. And I mean, yeah, we lived on campus for, I think, around like 6 months or so, like out of our semester and a half. So we had definitely plenty of time to get to know each other and build a good rapport with everyone. I will ask you, Pat, though, as the only person who's returning to campus for the fall semester, are you nervous to go back, or do you feel like, are you just kind of like indifferent on it? I mean, obviously, there's probably a little bit of timidness due to the current state of the world, but are you nervous about like maybe, like getting sick or just like having to come back home? Like, what are your thoughts basically heading into moving back?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about it because you guys are gonna be pretty safe staying at home. I'm a little nervous about what could be happening, what I could be risking. But I'm not gonna hang out in large crowds. If there are gonna be parties, I'm gonna avoid them. And and it sucks because I love parties, but I'm just gonna go to small gatherings if there are them of less than 5 people.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, it's hopefully, like I said, hopefully I'll return to campus in the spring. But I mean, I don't feel 100% comfortable. And I don't think anyone feels 100% comfortable until a vaccine is created. But I mean, at some point, my philosophy is you just kind of got to rip off the Band-Aid. But I mean, once it's just safe enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know where to go from here. We've covered a lot.
I don't really know either. Pretty good closing statement, actually.
You want to give a closing statement?
No, I said that was a pretty good closing statement. Like, if we had to pick one, that was pretty good.
I'm trying to think. Let's try and cover one more thing here. So
I got one thing. Looking at your YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah?
Your highest video has 84 views.
My first video actually has 180 views.
Whoa. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's the cringiest video ever. I showed it to a few people on our floor.
Is it the one where it's like talking to socially awkward people?
No, that was a TikTok I made.
Oh wait, your first YouTube video, you mean?
Correct. Yeah, my bad.
Right.
Yeah, that I think that one has around the same amount of views too, which is funny. But yeah, my first YouTube video, which I made like 7 years ago around this time, like I sound like I should be auditioning for like a role in Alvin and the Chipmunks. So make sure you watch it on your own time, though. It's quite the classic. I look a lot different too.
I have it pulled up. It's good. I liked it. Wait,
I appreciate it.
I just liked it. 8 likes, 1 dislike. Whoever the dislike is, they can heck off.
It's probably Joe or Andrew Whitcomb.
Andrew Whitcomb or Joe.
But yeah, Pat, we'll have to, if you're open for it, like have to do like podcasts, and I'll ask you like questions about like what life living on college is like if you're open to it.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a cool podcast to cover.
Oh wow, I go to your YouTube channel, and the top one is the one that we did with Whitcomb.
Oh, right on.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch. Oh wait, and it says we're live right now. Cool.
Yep.
I know. I can see myself.
But yeah, I mean, I think that about covers it. Just, stay safe, everyone. This is crazy times we're living in. How about this? Let's just do a guessing game. And when do you think? I hate using the phrase like, when do you think coronavirus is going to end? Like, when do you think things are going to take a turn for the better? Give me a month and like a year. So obviously probably somewhere around 2021. But let's just play a guessing game. When do you guys think things are going to take a turn for the better?
January of 2021. I feel like that's a cliche answer, but I feel like we're going to get out of this eventually.
Okay.
I like that answer because my birthday's in January. But
that would be the perfect birthday present.
Oh yeah, you would be one of the like few Americans that wouldn't have a quarantine birthday. My birthday's in March, so I was one of the first people to have a quarantine birthday.
That's brutal. Oh my god. What my friends have already been like, they wanted me to come out, and I was like, no. No.
Stay inside, kids.
I'm gonna guess March 2021.
Then everybody in America would have had a quarantine birthday.
We'll join you. We'll join you in the quarantine birthday celebration.
Yeah, hopefully that means. Hopefully you mean early March though, so
Yeah.
I don't get 2 quarantine birthdays.
Oh no, I mean early March, like
Yeah.
February, March.
Man of the people, Isaiah.
Oh, thank
Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna throw something out of left field here. I mean, huh? Yeah, this is
you. Guys
tough.
feel about sports?
April 2021. I'm just gonna say April 2021. Why not? Just for the sake of variety.
So you want me to have 2 quarantine birthdays? It would be
no.
March birthdays would have it the worst.
Yeah, it'd be tough, but I mean, yeah, the vaccine's gonna help a lot, but there's a flu vaccine, and the flu is still a problem. That's just my thinking.
I'm gonna write this down. How much we got on April 2021? How much?
$5 max. I'm not too confident in it. I mean, maybe, but.
Well, is this a bet? Is this actually happening?
Writing down on the whiteboard now.
Five David dollars. That's my currency.
I was looking at the YouTube channel the last time that we did a podcast. My hair was terrible because I hadn't cut it since quarantine. Now it's cut, so it actually looks good. It looks better.
Let's go.
Yeah, I ended up getting a quarantine cut. I think at this point, everybody or most people have gotten quarantine cuts of some kind.
Yep, I've been cutting my hair like every month or so. Just keeping it short as always. But yeah, I can't wait to go back to supercuts and get it cleaned up. But yeah, you guys have anything else to say? This was fun.
It was.
Anybody got any funny stories of anything that's happened at all? Anybody got any funny stories?
Not much, honestly. I've just honestly been staying inside a lot. I haven't been going out too much. We had like obviously this is basically contradicting everything I've said, but there was a neighborhood farewell party for my neighbors who moved out like a little while ago. So we had a party in someone's backyard, and a lot of people weren't socially distancing at it. Obviously, I went because these neighbors have lived next to us for like 20 years, so I wanted to say goodbye. And we were all perfectly fine, perfectly healthy, but it's just like it brings a smile to my face realizing like none of us were socially distancing, and thank God, no one got sick from that party or anything. But
well, if it's outside and if it's a small group, it's not too dangerous.
Right. Yeah, we were safe and all that stuff, but it was funny to me, I guess. But how about you guys?
Pat, do you got any funny stories?
I have stories. I don't know if they're all funny.
Do you have any stories? I don't know.
You're a fun guy.
I'm looking out for updates in your guys' life. What's new?
I've been looking for work and stuff, but it's tough. So I'm just, trying to keep busy with making podcasts and stuff and just getting ready for school.
Yeah, I'm probably really out of shape. I haven't I ran for the first time in like a month yesterday, and it was so bad.
I haven't ran in literally forever. I was thinking about it recently. I was like, should I get back into running? And I was like, it's a whole lifestyle. I was like, I'll just stay inside. It's nice. It's safe.
Right.
Whatever.
It's nice. It's safe. Yeah. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, any last words that you'd like to say to the viewers or to me or to anyone, to your plants?
Oh yeah, of course. Arby's, Worker Mod, either of you, if you would like to hire or sponsor me, please. I am interested.
Yeah, right. And Domino's too, like we said. Sponsor my man, Isaiah.
Domino's. I haven't had their pizza in a while. I should order.
Text the driver right now.
No. No. Oh my God, no. Kid, get me out of your group chat.
Oh, jeez. How about you, Pat? Any final words?
Next time you see an ant, don't stomp on it. Thank it for its service.
Always do. Always have been.
Alrighty. Yeah, I guess I'll just say, just stay positive. We're gonna get through this at some point. It's never before seen stuff with this pandemic, but hopefully things will be back to somewhat of a normal, and somewhat of a new normal come sometime in 2021. All right, I guess that's gonna do it. What were we gonna say?
Hopefully about better normal.
Agreed.
I don't know.
All right, that is going to do it for this episode of In Depth with David. Once again, I was joined by my roommate from college, Isaiah, and my floor mate, Pat, as they are smirking away right now. It's fun talking to you guys, fun catching up with you. And
it's because I left a comment before we could I
can't keep a straight face at the end of this podcast.
Yeah, all right. Good thing that is a private comment. I will not be showing that on the stream. I will be
sending that to Juliet right now.
I will be privately discussing that with Pat. Anyways, yeah, we're appreciative of everyone who views this podcast. Isaiah, Pat, it was fun talking to you guys, and we'll have to do this again soon. Definitely before school starts again.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, talk to you guys later. Have a good night.
Yep, peace.
See ya.
See you.